Yes.
Good morning, this is Father Paul Jarvis, and this is a teaching video for those people being trained as docents, or in other words, guided tour guides for our tour on Angel Fest. We, of course, have this beautiful church right here, which is built in 1885. And then we have this friary that is over here, built in 1868. So it makes it actually one of the oldest structures in the state of Minnesota, certainly one of the oldest structures in Carver County. You can see the original structure for the friary. However, it's not that part. Do you see where the door is? It's not the part where the door is. That was actually a later addition in the 70s. The oldest structure, and let's see if Emily and I can move, our camera person can go over here a little bit and see that portion on the very left part of the friary. That was built in 1868 by the Benedictines. Later on replaced by the Franciscan friars. Friar means brother. By the Franciscan friars later on, and that was just the beginning. They would add on that addition to the right in the 70s, and then they would add on behind the friary in 1913. They would add on the latest addition to the friary. Let's go inside. Before we go inside, I'd like to point out one thing about Guardian Angels as a parish. It was initially a mission church of St. Peter's over in what is now Mendota. That's right across the river from the Fort Snelling. And the priest there would minister to the Catholics that were in Fort Snelling. And some of those priests would be assigned to start mission churches elsewhere along either the Minnesota River or the Mississippi River. And right here in Chaska, at one time known as Little Prairie, here in Chaska there was a mission called St. Francis Xavier Mission. It was started among the Dakota people here in Little Prairie, now Chaska, and it was started by Father Revue, or Father Augustin Revue, and he is sort of the founding father, if you will, of the faith community here in Little Prairie. In 1858, when our state became a state, that is when the parish community was founded, founded by the Benedictine priests who had come over from Shakopee across the river. And so I just want to point out it was predominantly a German American and also Flemish and Dutch American parish initially, predominantly German American. But today you can see that the parish community has diversified into several ethnic groups, one people, one parish, two languages, and several ethnic groups. Of course, we still have our German Americans. Of course, we've got Irish Americans, French American. Jarvis is French. We also have Slavic American, and we have Spanish-speaking Latino Americans. And so it's a growing parish. We've grown from 300 households 2 years ago to 1,054 households that we have today. So that's a great growth. And many of those people are from various groups that were not here, of course, back in 1858 or in 1842. I'll repeat that again, 1842, when Father Augustin Revue started the mission church here in Little Prairie. Let's go up inside. Okay, let's go inside the 1885 church. This was not the original parish church. This is church number 3 in terms of the parish churches. Let's go inside. As you come up though, I'd like to remind everybody who is listening to this teaching video that it is not critical for you to know all of this. What we are doing is we are giving you background information that'll help bring alive the various information that you do read in print that we will send to you. Let's come inside the 1885 church. Okay, so this is what is called a narthex. And every church in the old days would have one. Today, in more modern churches that are built, being nowadays at least, they're called gathering spaces. Well, it doesn't look like in this 1885 church that there's much room to gather. But in the ancient days, there would indeed be gathering, but not for fellowship like in many modern churches. The gathering here in the narthex was to be for education purposes. Yeah, this was the classroom for a typical church 1800 years ago, 1900 years ago, 1700 years ago. Also, too, penances were oftentimes done in the narthex. For example, if you were given the penance to fast for 3 years after your one-time penance, you were allowed one penance in your life, one confession in your life, it would be done here. You would be not allowed inside the doors of the assembly. You had to remain outside the assembly, which was symbolic of remaining outside of the church until your penance was done, and then absolution would be given to you. Let's go inside these doors into the church. Come on in. Now, this is where you will be bringing your various visitors to our beautiful church on Angel Fest.